I can taste Bloodbath Diablos waiting for me around the corner, but he's being guarded by the 3 most obnoxious guardians that I have to plow through, and I've just seen the darkest depth of despair trying to fight them. Welcome back, Classic Crew, and welcome to the 15th journal. I think it's 15th journal in my Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate Journal on a quest to slay Bloodbath Diablos with every weapon type except Prowler. And it has been now, 8 months on this journey. I've beaten Ahtal-Ka finally. I'm in the end game building out my final sets, getting ready to enter the arena with Bloodbath Diablos. But I am gatekept by the most obnoxious beasts known to man, named Deviants. So I destroyed Nightcloak Malfestio. He's out of the way. The 3 that remain, Bolt Reaver Ostelos, Soul Seer Mizutsune, and Elder Frost. What's the elephant's name? Who cares? Nobody remembers the elephant. Capcom doesn't remember the elephant. Gammoth, that's what it is. I just got absolutely destroyed. Like, if Ahtal-Ka was a 9 out of 10 on difficulty, Bolt Reaver and Soul Seer are roughly 16, 17 on the scale of difficulty out of 10. It's just disgusting. The last time I felt this kind of, this is impossible, not counting the Dark Souls game, it was probably Alatreon, Fatalis, Dark Temper, Velkhana, like those monsters from Iceborne. They made me feel this way, which I didn't think I would feel this way again. And to be fair, I was kind of chasing this feeling again, but now that I'm face to face with it, it doesn't feel good to be so humbled. Like, all these years of monster hunting, all this training, and it just means nothing because I don't know the pattern. I don't know the monster movement. I'm like a baby waggling my rattler at this thing, and they just don't care. They just massacre me. So before we get too far into the despair talk, let me share with you the Ahtal-Ka stream, because this was good. So in the last journal, I had only made it to phase 3 when I recorded the last journal. The initial Mantis fight, followed by the Gundam fight, followed by the Dragonator on her back fight. I hadn't seen phase 2 of the Gundam and phase 3 of the Mantis form with proof of a hero fighting, which really hypes you up. So let me share with you how I actually got to that, because Ahtal-Ka was a bit of a wall for me. The first fight I went in last time was with the Switch Axe, which I shared on the last journal, and it didn't go so well, but it was at the end of the stream, right? So now going into a fresh stream, fresh stamina. And I made the same kind of progress as with the Switch Axe, but I did it much faster. So I reached phase 3 in 15 minutes versus with the Switch Axe the first time, I think it took me 30 minutes to get to phase 3. So there was some improvement there, but I still got smacked around. Pretty sure it was a Dragonair that killed me again. So boom, dead. So now all right, well, Omni Hunter, let's pull out another weapon. Let's try the Charge Blade. This thing never lets me down. And I went in, and Charge Blade is what I almost got her with Charge Blade. I made it to phase 5. There was 40 minutes into the fight, but I got Dragonatored again. I keep getting Dragonatored. And I can confirm, by the way, if you do not, I was asking this in the last journal, if you don't use the Dragonator, can she actually pull it out of the ground? The answer is yes, because she's pretty much pulling a bunch of rubble and old unused Dragonators. The Charge Blade attempt was where I got a lot more experience with Ahtal-Ka, because I saw the second version of the mech, which this one here requires you to just do more destruction on the top to reach the little golden egg to destroy it. Honestly, it's a little bit more annoying. Not a fan of that version. Of phase 2 of the mech was not as good as the first one. And then afterwards, when you destroy the mech, the music stops, and I'm like, no, this fight's not over. I know it's not over, but for a moment, your instinct feels like you did it, you won, the music's over. But what happens is she's just regrouping, and proof of a hero triggers, and it's the song I've been using in my stream starting soon on Twitch. So I've been listening to the song to hype me up for the last 8 months, and I'm like, this is where it shows up. It shows up in this fight. I'm like, oh, let's go. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to die. So I went in, things were getting tough, and then she pulls out this new thing, which is the wheel. For those who were following the journey, at one point I introduced the Wheel of Pain to make my journey a little harder, which honestly was not needed. We retired the Wheel of Pain. And here I am with Ahtal-Ka, who's bringing back the Wheel of Pain. She's got the wheel on her back, and she's flipping it, and people are like, you thought the wheel was gone, but Ahtal-Ka's bringing it back. So I like when things become poetic that way. And there's another big poetic moment coming up soon. And then she did a new move. I think it's in phase 5 where she does the Dragonator Tornado. where she pulls up Dragonators vertically and they start spinning around her and then they go like outwards. It's a move you see Narwhal, I think it's not Narwhal, Narwa something, I don't know. It's a move you see in Monster Hunter Rise. I was quite pleasantly surprised to see here. I'm like, oh, it wasn't in Rise that they did this for the first time. It was actually here. And yeah, for some reason, I had troubles dodging that tornado, and it's when I think I made it through. I'm like, I dodged it, and then she like throws a Dragonair into my face. I'm like, oh, come on. So that was the experience, my first experience with Phase 5. And then finally, I'm like, all right, no more messing around. It's time to go back to my roots and finish this. And I reached out and grabbed my Switch Axe in Adept mode, and I went in, and it just like, I zoned in, locked in, and I was feeling back like I was an Iceborne with my Switch Axe, and I was just going around, smacking her, going into sword mode, dodging. It felt great. Took about 35 minutes, and finally I got the little notification that I defeated her go off, and it just felt so sweet. And after that, I was like, power of friendship! And then all the multiplayer hunters came in, and we just destroyed Ahtal-Ka after Ahtal-Ka after Ahtal-Ka because I needed armor, and I built the full Ahtal-Ka armor set, which is a set I wanted to go against the Deviants with. It's known as one of the best sets. When you get the full set, you get 2 skills. One of which is talisman, double talisman. So it doubles the skill points that you have equipped in your talisman. And then you get skill +2. So it adds 2 points to any skill you have. So using that build, I was able to get 4 skills on top of those other skills. And I built it around a longsword build. So I got a crit eye +1. I got razor sharp, weakness exploit, and critical boost. With the armor set and the talisman, which it was a 3 slot, I had 15 slots worth to put decorations in, and so I just slotted decorations. There was one I needed to do a special fight to unlock a deco for, which was the critical boost jewel. I had to go and fight a Yangaruga in the arena, of all things, to get this random piece, and I went in with a bow, and it actually went pretty well. Like, I got into this cycle of understanding what Yangaruga's moveset was. Like, it was so simple next to all the other monsters I've been fighting, and I would just kind of let it like do its move, dodge it, shoot it here, and I just felt very aggressive with the bow, more so than I ever have. And it just made me appreciate like how much I've learned on this journey and how arena quests used to be so terrifying. And I'm just like, I know how to use all these weapons now. Some I know how to use better than others, but like I'm comfortable in arena with any weapon you put on me, so it feels really nice. So yeah, I got that part, did a few multiplayer to grind out the part I needed even more. So my defense now is over 800, which is pretty up there for endgame. I could probably get it to 850 with one more round of upgrades, but for now that's good. And then I did a bunch of Razor, the Deviant one, the crab, and I leveled up my long sword to the second last level, which gives me a raw attack of 310, which is pretty good. If I could upgrade it one more time, I'd get 330. And so at this point, I'm like, all right, I got my gear, my hunter rank unlocked, by the way, after I beat Ahtal-Ka. And I think it unlocked and went from like hunter rank 11 or 12, whatever it is before it unlocks, all the way up to like 83. So my concerns about grinding my hunter rank for bloodbath, which I had heard rumors unlocks at like 65 or something, completely unnecessary. Like I meet the hunter rank check, no problem to fight bloodbath Diablos. So off I go into the Deviants. So I go in after the Nightcloak Malfestio with my long sword, and I'm going in with like some pretty raw attack power. And this one was was harder than the regular owl fight. It was a little frustrating because I kept getting turned around with the stupid thing, but I prefer the moveset of the Deviant than the regular owl. And I know with more practice, I could dodge it a lot more reliably. But what was fun, I also changed out my skill for the longsword from the absolute evasion into the parry one, which I forget the name right now. So I was getting pretty good at sometimes where the owl was like gonna bomb me, I'm just like parry and then just like slash. So the longsword was feeling really good. What I hate about these Deviants is they are all capture quests, which I hate, because you have to be like, you can't just go crazy. I killed the crab by accident the other day because I killed it instead of capture it. So Malfestio, I went pretty hard on it, and then like at the 50-minute mark, I'm like, okay, like it might start limping at any moment. It went all the way up to 30 minutes before it finally limped, and it finally fell asleep, and that's when I captured it. So really cool fight. I knew that this would be the easiest of the Deviants. Everyone's like, oh, the Soul Seer Mizitsune is actually the easiest. I'm like, I don't believe that for a moment. So we put it up to the chat. I'm like, who do you guys want me to fight? The Ahtal-Ka, the Mizu, or the Gammoth? And of course, everybody wanted Bolt Reaver. And I lasted 15 minutes before I lost 3 carts. And I can't say how many hits I actually got on the Ahtal-Ka because I was mostly healing the whole thing and Superman diving and running away from everything it's shooting at you. And it's just so aggressive. And I was absolutely defeated. Like, it wasn't a fight where I even felt like I had a chance. I just felt completely outclassed. I'm like, okay, let's try to learn some of the moves. I wasn't there to like try to hunt it at all because I just felt so outmatched by it. I'm like, this is a whole different level of fight. And that destroyed my soul a bit and my spirit. And then I'm like, okay, let's go Soul Serum Mizitsune if it's the easiest one. Let's go. People are like, you just got to not touch the bubbles. So off I go, and like the first thing that happens is a bubble. I pop a bubble. I'm like, how do you dodge this? Like he shoots walls of bubbles at you, and you're gonna tell me that like you can just, okay, maybe if you're good with Valor, sure, whatever. I'm not there yet. But and then like it just jumps in the air and it just lands on you. Like it can clear the gap between you and it wherever it is. So I lasted like 10 minutes against Soul Serum Mizitsune, which I mean technically is worse than Bolt Reaver. At this point, my stamina was done. My patience was done. I actually semi-rage quit the stream. Like it was 11 p.m. I usually go to midnight on a good night. And this time I'm like, I don't want to mess with this. I don't want to touch with, like, there's nothing else for me to hunt except the elephant. I'm just like, I don't want to, I just don't want to. I'm tired. I'm miserable. And these monsters have humbled me to the point where I'm like, this won't work. In fact, I have a pattern when this happens. This always happens. First, I feel despair. Then I'm like, why am I doing this? This pledge is so stupid. And then I get angry. I'm like, why did I get into this franchise? That's all your fault. And then I start watching videos because I'm like, well, I pledged it. I got to do it. And let's see. So I started watching some Bolt Reaver videos, and I'm starting to learn its moveset. And, you know, so I'm sleeping on it. So I'm trying to do like some image training with my brain. So when I go to bed, I can see other players like kill it, and my brain can absorb the knowledge so that when I go to play, I can actually just do it. I believe it works. And I've also kind of built confidence where I'm like, you know, the longsword is not my best weapon. I'm like, I should probably go in with the switch axe. I think the switch axe, I could move around these monsters a lot more comfortably just because of my play style with them. And I'm like, the switch axe lets me be more aggressive, has more mobility, I can like hop some stuff. And I was thinking of fighting like all these fast monsters in like Rise and Sunbreak, and I was using the switch axe and I was able to do stuff. So I'm like, you know, maybe with the switch axe there's a chance. So I'm rebuilding my spirit. The next time I face these monsters, I will try with the switch axe, my true main weapon. And I really need to farm up a proper switch axe because I've been using the Elder Blade, I think it's called, which is the cheap one that you can buy off the corner store. Now I need to like grind out a proper switch axe. We need to go find my boy Brachydios and be like, give me that blast switch axe because I need to go make some booms. So that's going to take me a while to grind out. I might see at switching some of these skills for maybe some evade or evasion skills. And we're going to lock in. We're going to learn these moves of these 3 deviants holding me back from properly facing Bloodbath Diablos. And then we're going to lock in and kill that boy 14 times. It ain't going to be easy. This territory is beyond anything I honestly could have expected. But the good news is it brought me to the same level of emotion as Elatreon and Fatalis and our Tempered Volcana, which is something I've been seeking for many years. So here we are. So I'll see you on the next journal. Hopefully these deviants are dead and the bloodbath is before us. If not, it'll be a sad journal, but I will keep you all updated. Or I will see you on the next stream. Until next time, keep it classy.